So many of you may have heard that the airline industry contributes about 2% of global greenhouse gases. Interestingly enough, the IT industry contributes the same amount, but that is actually set to grow to 4% by 2020. And one of the things that we at HP are looking at is how we can use technology to actually reduce the other 98% that you see out there. HP are looking at tackling this in 3 different ways. One of the key things for us is HP's greenhouse gas emissions from our supply chain and also our own operations. One of the really important things for us is a program called Design for the Environment, because how you design the product affects what materials you use to manufacture it, how it's manufactured and how it's put together, how you transport it, how you package it, how many you can get into an ocean-going container or onto a pallet. And for us, it's really important about designing in energy efficiency as well. Also, how you recycle it and how easy it is to disassemble at the end of its life. HP was the first IT company to disclose emissions from its first tier supply chain, and that was about 3.1 million tonnes of greenhouse gases. The key for us is now to work with our supply chain in helping them reduce those emissions going forward. So when HP is considering the design of its product, material innovation is a key area that we look at. How we can actually reduce the amount of material that you use. So this could be in packaging, or a prime example that I like to use is around one of HP's all-in-one devices. If you go back 3 or 4 years ago, you'd have on your desk a scanner, a copier, a printer, a fax machine and a phone. These days you can get all of those in one device, thus saving on raw materials because you haven't got 4 or 5 different devices there. And on top of that, you're also saving on energy because rather than having 5 devices on your desk, you've only got 1 device. And the last area I wanted to talk about is something we call cradle to cradle, which is very much about how we use our own plastics that are returned to us through HP's Planet Partners program. This is where you can return your printer cartridges to HP. We then recycle them, and we use the recycled plastic and mix that with post-consumer waste, which is plastic bottles, to actually produce something called recycled polyethylene. And this actually goes into making a new printer cartridge. We've made about 200 million printer cartridges from recycled polyethylene in the last couple of years. And the key for us is this is a cradle-to-cradle solution. HP looks at energy in 3 distinct areas. The first one is about designing energy efficiency into our products. The second one is very much about how we can help you reduce the amount of energy you use. And the third one really is about how we can change the way that we do things so that we use less energy. So let me touch on the first one very, very briefly. It's about designing energy efficient power supplies into our products. It's about using energy efficient measures, so things like double-sided printing when we're talking about printing. In the second piece, we're really talking about how do we help you in your environment. And we talk about things like consolidation and virtualization, where we can help you reduce the amount of computers that you actually need. Figures out there say that most products or most servers are running at single-figure utilization, so less than 10%. The last piece is very much about changing the way that we do things. And one of these is very much around sort of HP's Halo solution, which is all about telepresence or video conferencing. The idea here is that we're changing the way that we do things. So instead of actually having to fly to a meeting, let's say in the US, you can actually use video conferencing facilities, which means that you don't have the emissions from the airline, you don't have any emissions from staying in hotels, getting taxis, etc. These are the sort of examples that we're talking about when looking into the future. All of these issues are important to HP. As a global IT company, showing leadership in the environment is very important to us. We welcome Destination Green IT and other forums like it that allow the collaboration and exchange of ideas going forward, starting us on our journey to reach the destination of Green IT.